I'm about to tell you something most people will never hear. There are 12 psychological signals you emit every day that silently dictate whether people respect you or use you. And here's the darker truth. Everyone around you is already reading these signals, even if you aren't aware you're sending them. If you want to stay predictable and powerless, stop watching now. But if you're tired of being dismissed, talked over, underestimated, then what comes next is the exact knowledge powerful men have used for centuries to project authority without aggression. This isn't motivation. This is forbidden psychology, the kind Machiavelli warned ordinary people should never learn. Before we go deeper, be brutally honest with yourself. Drop a fire in the comments if someone has ever disrespected you, and you stayed silent when you should have stood your ground. Your story might wake someone else up. Chapter 1. The Silent Signals of Powerlessness. Most people don't lose respect because they're weak. They lose respect because they signal weakness without knowing it. Today, we expose those signals and replace them with Machiavellian presence. You've been taught your entire life to be nice, be polite, be understanding. But no one ever taught you how to be respected. Respect is not given. Respect is engineered. Fear, not the violent kind, but the psychological kind, comes from one thing: your ability to remain calm, unreadable, and unshakable. And these skills are learnable. Not because they're evil, but because humans push boundaries automatically. It's hardwired. Every time someone interrupts you, cancels on you, ignores your message, makes a slick comment, takes advantage of your time, they are gathering data about you, and you are training them how to treat you. Picture this. You're in a meeting, you share an idea, someone else repeats it louder, and gets the credit. Old you forces a nervous laugh, maybe tries to correct it, voice cracking slightly. New you lean back, pause, then calmly say, "Interesting. Let me clarify the original concept. No aggression, just a reminder. You were here first." Respect regained instantly. You talk too much. You react too quickly. You explain yourself unnecessarily. And people subconsciously think, if he can't control himself, he definitely can't control a room. Harvard Business School found that people who speak 30% less are rated 54% more authoritative. Not because they're smarter, but because silence signals confidence. This is why Machiavelli wrote that rulers must be loved for what they don't reveal. And you're about to see why. Next time someone asks you a question, pause for 2 seconds before answering, not dramatically, just intentionally. This micro-silence communicates, I'm not reactive. I think before I speak. You don't control my tempo. Try it once today. You'll feel the shift in how people speak back to you. You allow people too much access, too much time, too much explanation, too much forgiveness. Weak boundaries are the #1 destroyer of respect. Picture this. Your friend cancels plans last minute. Again. Old you. No worries. Maybe next time. New you. You wait 3 hours, then send 2 words. Understood. No emoji. No explanation. No emotional labor. Watch how fast they treat your time differently. Machiavelli said it best. Men learn to fear what limits their access. When someone interrupts you mid-sentence, do not raise your voice. Do not repeat yourself. Just stop talking. Turn your head. Look at them. Stay silent. This is the kind of power people feel in their spine. Picture this. Someone cuts you off. You pause. You look at them. You wait. They feel the mistake. They apologize. You continue speaking from a position of dominance. Calm, controlled, grounded. Stop. If you drifted for even 10 seconds in the last minute, rewind. What I just showed you separates men who stay invisible from men who walk into a room and shift the atmosphere. If you missed it, you missed the doorway to power. You think you're being polite. You think you're being patient. You think you're being agreeable. But here's the dark psychological truth. Nice people get appreciated. Calm people get respected. Unpredictable people get feared. And you need all three to project Machiavellian presence ethically. Your coworker asks you to stay late. Again. Old you agrees reluctantly, hoping to be seen as helpful. New you, that doesn't work for me. Then silence. Not rude, just firm. Respect doesn't come from pleasing people. It comes from showing you can't be pushed. Machiavelli was exiled, betrayed, silenced. But instead of collapsing, he studied human nature from the shadows. He realized the world isn't divided into good and bad people, but into powerful and powerless mindsets. And the powerless mindset always has the same traits. Over-explains, overshares, overreaks, over-apologizes, over-commits. You're about to eliminate all of these, because Chapter 2 will reveal the 12 psychological power triggers, grouped into 4 Machiavellian categories, each one reshaping a different dimension of your presence. Most people think power comes from aggression. They're wrong. Power comes from precision. In your posture, your words, your silence, your emotional restraint. And inside each domain, the exact 12 Machiavellian moves that make people think twice before underestimating you. One of them is so powerful, most leadership books refuse to teach it. Chapter 2, the 12 Machiavellian power moves, the 4 domains of respect. You now understand why people unconsciously test you, and why you've been unintentionally signaling weakness. Chapter 2 is where everything changes, because now we move into the 4 Machiavellian domains, the real pillars of psychological authority that affect how people treat you the moment you walk into a room. Inside each domain, you'll learn the exact power moves used by rulers, negotiators, military strategists, elite communicators, and modern leaders. Not to manipulate others, but to maintain control over themselves, so power naturally radiates outward. Let's begin. People decide your value before you speak. It's primitive, it's instinctive, it's unavoidable. This is the first impression that silently sets the hierarchy. When entering any room, pause 1 second at the doorway. This pause signals internal authority. Picture this. You enter a meeting. You don't rush in. You pause. You scan once. Then you move at your own pace. People notice. Their eyes gravitate toward you. A Princeton study found people form impressions in less than 1/10 of a second. Meaning, you are being judged faster than you can say a single word. Control the first second, and you control the room. Most men move too much, fidgeting, shifting, over-gesturing. This telegraphs anxiety. Stillness telegraphs certainty. Your hands rest, your shoulders relax, your face stays neutral. As Machiavelli wrote, power is greatest when it appears effortless. Your posture must say, I am grounded, I am centered, I am not easily moved. Feet shoulder-width apart, shoulders back, chin neutral, breath steady. You don't need dominance, you need presence. Now that your physical presence sets the tone, let's move to the most misused weapon men possess, their words. Most men talk too much. Powerful men talk strategically. Words shape perception, but silence shapes dominance. Speak slower than those around you, not lazily, deliberately. Behavioral psychologists discovered that people who pause before responding are perceived as 67% more trustworthy and more confident. That pause is leverage. Picture this. Someone challenges you in a discussion. Old you snaps back defensively. New you pauses, breathes, and responds with, I hear you. Here's what you're missing. Instant authority. Never explain yourself twice. Never repeat yourself after being interrupted. Never ramble. Speak in clear, decisive sentences. When words are scarce, their weight increases. This is why Machiavelli advised rulers to speak with as few words as possible, and only when necessary. Here's the paradox. Powerful men often speak slightly softer than those around them. Why? Because softness forces people to lean in. It demands attention, it signals confidence so strong it doesn't need volume. You've been here 12 minutes. That already puts you in the top 10%. Because most people can't commit to anything longer than a TikTok video. You're already proving you're different. Now listen closely, because the next domain is what separates the mentally strong from the easily controlled. This is the core of Machiavellian self-protection. Not coldness, but emotional mastery. Someone insults you, pause. Someone raises their voice, stay neutral. Someone tries provoking you, observe. The man who controls his reaction controls the interaction. At work, someone makes a passive-aggressive jab. Old you immediately defends yourself. New you gives a neutral expression and responds calmly. Noted. Confusion, respect, silence. In that moment, their power evaporates. Your boundaries must be calm, simple, and unapologetic. No, that doesn't work for me. I'm not available. I prefer not to. No justification, no apology, no anxiety, as Machiavelli taught. He who defends too much appears uncertain. When tension rises, your tone drops. Your breathing slows. Your expression stays steady. People fear disappointing a man whose emotions they cannot read. A predictable man is controllable. An unreadable man is unshakable. Now, you control your body, your words, your emotional responses. But there's one last domain, the one Machiavelli considered most dangerous: social dynamics. Because understanding others gives you the power to move through the world without being blindsided. These moves determine whether people view you as equal, above, or beneath them. When entering any space, observe before engaging. Who's dominant? Who's insecure? Who interrupts? Who commands attention? Who avoids eye contact? This silent audit gives you a map of the social battlefield. You must not be too available, not in texting, not in favors, not in emotional energy. Scarcity increases perceived value. Abundance decreases it. This is not manipulation, it's self-respect. Your absence must matter. Leave a conversation earlier than expected. Decline invitations occasionally. Be slightly harder to access. People must feel when you're gone, so they value you when you're present. This tactic is so powerful that powerful men guard it. Because once everyone learns how to make their absence valuable, false authority collapses instantly. Use it wisely. You now have the full 12 Machiavellian moves. But knowledge alone doesn't make you powerful. Implementation does. Chapter 3. Implementation, the daily rituals that make you untouchable. You now know the 12 Machiavellian power moves, but here's the truth. Chapter 3 transforms these tactics into instinct, into rituals, into a way of moving through the world that silently commands respect without you ever raising your voice. Because real power isn't what you do, it's what you exude. Let's make it permanent. Most men wake up already losing. Notifications attack their mind. Their body is tense. Their thoughts are scattered. A weak start produces a weak presence. Your day now begins with 5 minutes of sovereign silence. Inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. This regulates your nervous system. Your body enters calm dominance. Shoulders back, chin neutral, stomach relaxed, breath deep. Practice stillness, the core of presence. Say quietly to yourself, "Today, I enforce my boundaries. Today, I speak with precision. Today, I move with intention." This is not affirmation. It is conditioning. This is how Machiavelli would train a prince, from the inside out. Every room, every meeting, every social environment begins with the same ritual. Pause 1 second at the entrance. Scan once. Move slowly, deliberately. This is your micro-dominance cue. A Stanford study found that people decide your status and confidence level within 0.2 seconds of seeing you move. Not your face, not your clothes, your movement. If you control your entry, you control the power dynamic. You will now train your verbal dominance through 3 daily rules. Before answering any question, pause for 2 seconds. This makes people recalibrate their tone automatically. Someone asks, "Why are you late?" Old you. Oh, sorry. Traffic was bad and knew you. Pause, then calmly. I had something to handle. The pause removes defensiveness. It removes apology. It asserts equality. Whatever you want to say, cut one sentence. This leaves your words sharp, clean, respected. If someone says what or interrupts you, do not repeat yourself. Just look at them. Wait, then continue. This single habit eliminates 70% of disrespect. Look at the timer. 20 minutes. Most people never stick with anything this long. Most men quit before transformation begins. But you're still here. That alone puts you in the top 1%. Let's finish this. You control your emotions through a simple 3-part discipline. Never respond emotionally in the moment. Take one breath first. This one breath is the difference between dignity and weakness. If something violates your boundary, your default phrases are, "No, I'm not available. That won't work. I prefer not to." No emotion, no apologies, pure authority. When someone pushes you, your tone drops, not rises. Your breathing slows, not quickens. Your posture stabilizes, not tightens. People fear disappointing someone who cannot be emotionally manipulated. This is the essence of Machiavellian presence. You now apply the last 3 power moves through daily awareness. Ask yourself, who interrupts most? Who avoids eye contact? Who everyone listens to? Who everyone ignores? Who is secretly insecure? Once you see the hierarchy, you stop playing the wrong role. You respond slower. You commit less. You reveal little. Not to be mysterious, but to protect your value. People respect what they cannot easily access. Once a week, be less available. Leave early, decline. An invite. Say no to a favor. Go silent for a bit. Not dramatically, just enough that people notice. The energy is different when he's not here. That is power. There is a reason this part is never taught publicly, because once you understand it, you become psychologically independent. And independent people cannot be controlled. Machiavelli hinted at it in private letters, but never formalized it. He who requires nothing cannot be governed. This is the final transformation. You shift from needing validation to needing nothing but your own standards. This identity change makes you unreactive, unshakable, unintimidated, unmanipulable. This is what terrifies people and earns their respect. To make this part of you, follow this exact 7-day plan. Day 1, 2-second pause before every answer. Day 2, 1-sentence shorter rule. Day 3, 1 unapologetic boundary. Day 4, practice stillness in all conversations. Day 5, scarcity. Respond slower to everything. Day 6, quiet audit in social environments. Day 7, presence ritual. Enter every room with a pause. If you do these for 7 days, your reality will change. Before you leave, you face a choice that defines who you become next. You can close this video and return to the version of yourself that explains too much, apologizes too often, reacts too quickly, and gets taken for granted. Or you can take one tactic from today, screenshot it, set it as your wallpaper, and live it for the next 24 hours. If you're starting today, comment Day 1 right now. I want to see who's actually serious about becoming unshakable. Subscribe if you felt something shift inside you, because in the next video, I'm revealing the forbidden Machiavellian method of dealing with enemies without confrontation, the tactic powerful men never mention publicly. Remember, the weak stay predictable, the strong become ungovernable.